Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of Fireplace Discussions, the home of hot fire and even hotter conversation. I'm your host, Jose Lane, and tonight I'm joined by Tanner Paulson, a man who's made huge gains.
Hi, happy to be here.
Tanner, my first question for you is, how old are you and who is your favorite musician or band?
How old am I? Well, I am 18 years young. What was the other questions?
And who is your favorite musician or band?
Tough question. You know, I like to think that I like to think I know a lot of genres in the music industry, but I would have to say that inspiration of mine has to go out to Brian Emanuel, aka Rich Chigga, as my favorite artist.
Definitely, I agree. Ryan is pretty popular right now. So, this episode is going to be about your weight loss as well as your motivation for that weight loss. Tanner, let's talk about your early days. As a child, what were you like, and how did you feel in regards to your physicality in your life?
So, as a child, I initially started out pretty slim and slender, but as I started to grow up, I slowly packed on a lot of fat up until about, I would say 4th grade was when I really started gaining weight, and by the time 8th grade and going on to freshman year, I started to feel super self-conscious about my weight and was just very angry about it. And I would say that, you know, some say that anger is, you know, your worst enemy and sometimes your best friend in weight loss because it motivates you, but the constant putting down of yourself is not great. But it did motivate me to become the person I am today.
Thank you. So Tanner, what was your personal motivation? What was like your first step to really wanting to make a change in your life?
Well, funny story, it was about fall of my sophomore year. I was laying on the floor, I remember, and I was talking to my friend Brady over Facebook Messenger. He was like, Tanner, you know what you should do? You should go out for a track because you know that you want to make the change and it'd really be good for you to really start that trend to get out there. And I said, well, I can't because I can't run. And he told me that it was actually throwing. And I said no one has to run and not everyone has to run and track. But I remember I specifically got up off the floor, put on my running shoes that I never ran in, and I got on the elliptical and I ran a mile in 10 minutes. And I was completely exhausted, but proud.
So many of you may not know, but Tanner actually went from being a 0-sport athlete his freshman year to his junior year being a 3-sport athlete, cross country, swimming, and track. Tanner, what was it like being a 3-sport athlete? Describe the triggers and how it transformed you.
Definitely. So I would say my junior year was the year to experiment and get out of my shell. My sophomore year was the year that I really started getting that momentum to get out there. But it was when I just got that motivation myself, my junior year. Brian had told me to do cross country because the running, you know, I had already seen a little bit of results with running, you know, some weight loss, and he said, you know, getting out there and the constant running will really help with the weight loss. And so I did that, and then some fellas on the cross country team convinced me to do swimming, which was pretty ironic because I was a terrible swimmer and I was actually more of a, you know, a sinker. But I got out there and I tried it and I ended up loving it, and I did track again my junior year and started doing pole vault, which was really great for my self-esteem because they say an ideal pole vaulter is very strong and athletic, which I was none of that, so it gave me higher goals.
That's great. And so then that really gave you something to look forward to, a goal that you had in mind. But so what were some of your pitfalls in that goal of yours? What was like your biggest struggle in weight loss?
My biggest struggle in weight loss was defeating the trend, I would say. because throughout my life I know nothing about hard work and what it was like to get out there and work to achieve something, because I was just a young kid enjoying my time. But definitely, when you start to see those results, you really get hungry to want to fight for more, and definitely, when you don't see results immediately, which never happens, it requires that you have to work up to that, and you have to continue doing that, and that's how you lose weight through running. And so definitely trying to get that trend of consistent exercise was my hardest fault.
In this process you were going through, what was your biggest pitfall? Where was your biggest pitfall, or where did you stumble a lot?
I would definitely have to say getting in the routine of exercising, because before that I had a very low activity in my lifestyle, and so really getting into the sports and stuff and the daily workouts, and just going from nothing to everything every day, for
A culture shock.
yeah, definitely. It was definitely something new to me. I didn't work out, and so going to work out every day was definitely new, and trying to keep up that exercise daily was definitely hard.
Mm-hmm. Tanner, what was your biggest accomplishment as an athlete?
I would have to say working hard enough to go to state with some of my friends on our swim team this year, because I went from not knowing how to swim last year all the way to working hard enough to getting on a relay for state, which is, in my book, a giant accomplishment, because our swim team is terrific, and we placed 5th at state, and overall the team got 2nd. And so for me to come from no base to something as great as that I would have to credit as my greatest accomplishment.
Definitely. So how much weight have you lost since your freshman year?
So at my height, I was at 184 pounds with 42% body fat, and currently I weigh about 153, and I have a body fat percentage in the mid-teens, I would say. And so I would say more than probably 40 pounds of body fat and putting on a lot of muscle mass. Definitely.
That's so awesome, Tanner. It's honestly inspired me, because I know that I can't slack off when I run, because I know Tanner's out here grinding, so I know I can do it too. If he can get up in the morning, then so can I.
Thank you.
Definitely. You signed to the U.S. Army as a specialized bomb technician. How would you say that your training and your rigors as an athlete and through working out, have they prepared you for this occupation, and in what way?
The Explosive Ordnance Disposal Specialty, the AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training, is the hardest schooling that the United States Army actually offers. And so I would say the best way athletics has actually helped me with that is building that work ethic. And because I've definitely seen throughout my academic history that if I don't enjoy something, I definitely won't put enough time into it. And so, being able to work hard enough to see results in my weight loss and everything like that definitely has built a foundation for motivation to work hard enough to achieve something I really want.
Definitely. So where do you see yourself in 6 years from now?
6 years from now, I actually hope to have just retired from the United States Army. Hope to have fulfilled a pretty successful life as an explosive ordnance technician. Maybe even have fulfilled a contract as a 3-year contract as United States Green Beret. But I definitely don't plan to make a career out of it. But I hope to pursue mechanical engineering in college.
That's awesome. So where do you see yourself physically in 6 years?
I hope to never stop grinding out there, I want to...
How swole is too swole?
Too swole to the point where your shoulders are the size of hams. I would say that's too swole. I would, have you ever seen those, the calisthenic athletes, that are like pure muscle mass, very thin, but,
Yeah,
still big?
The lean tone.
Ideal, yeah. I don't want to be
That's what
too
you're
big,
going for?
yeah, but I definitely want to be jacked.
I see. So, it's been a pleasure talking with you this evening, Tanner, and can't wait to see where you go.
Thank you.
It's been awesome just watching it.
Thank you.
I hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Fireplace Discussions as much as I have. I hope you can feel motivated like Tanner to take some course of action in your life and improve it for the better. And Tanner Paulson. I just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor of this video, Herman Belinga Water, for providing the most refreshing, the most moist, freshing water that you can buy. Go look them up.